Hello, 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 and welcome to the Marketing That Grows Your Business show. We're on episode 27. It's hard to believe how quick this year is going. I don't know about you guys, but even with COVID, time just keeps marching on, right? So how is everybody today? As you guys are coming in, just give me a shout out. Where in the world are you? And in case you're brand new and have never been on one of my shows before, I would love to say hello. And if you would just do a quick comment that says #new so I can greet you. And if you are an oldie but goodie, then please just drop in, where in the world are you and how you're doing today. My name is Kim Garst. I'm an online business strategist, and I am super passionate about helping people learn, shorten their learning curve using digital and social media so that they can ultimately increase their bottom line. If that's you and you're looking for ways to increase your bottom line, then you're probably in the right place. We do have special guests every Monday here on the Marketing That Grows Your Business show, and today is no different. We're super excited to have a very special guest today. And not only is our guest today, it's going to be a little bit different format today. Not only are we going to talk about promotional videos in particular, how do you create those without massive tech skills and, it costing you an arm and a leg, but really keying in on the components of what makes a promotional video. And we're also going to do a little show and tell. So you're going to be able to actually see how to create a promotional video in 10 minutes or less. That was the promise. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm again excited you guys are here. As with all shows, we do have, for some reason, StreamYard is not bringing in comments and stuff this morning. So hopefully, I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, we will proceed. So one of the things that we do on every show is we do some giveaways. And the way you win the giveaways is you just type in #AHA. So let me just pop this up. So let's see, right here. #AHA, if you'll put that in the area down under. When you hear something that is like, oh my gosh, that is amazing, then that is how you can win some of our prizes. And we do give away on every show a ring light so that you just pop this little thing on your phone and you always have a great source of light for your selfies or, other photos that you want to create or snap photos of. We also give away a little, it's a little, what is it? Webcam cover. There you go. I couldn't think of what I was trying to say. It's a webcam cover for your webcam so that people can't spy on you. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention our special sponsor. Our sponsor is easel.com. Easel.com is a graphic design tool. What I love about Easel versus some of their competitors is that they have amazing templates that are pre-designed by graphic designers, professional graphic designers. So you can pop into Easel, you can get a great image like that, already pre-designed. All you have to do is add your logo or your branding to it and download it, and boom, there you go. So we choose 3 winners for our sponsor. They get a three-month trial of easel.com. So if you're interested in winning today, don't forget to pop in your #AHA moments, okay? And let's see. I saw one comment pop in. So Jeff is the producer of the Marketing That Grows Your Business show normally, but today I'm having to wing it, and we had to do some workarounds today. So hopefully everybody is seeing the show wherever they're supposed to be seeing it. We'll see here. All right, so we're going to get going here. Let me get our special guest intro so you guys can meet. Well, let me tell you before I pull up the bio for our special guest. I first met our special guest and was introduced to this amazing video tool that's now my new favorite. As you guys know, if you follow me for any length of time, you know I'm passionate about great tools. And anything that makes our lives simpler is a boon, right? So I'm always about that. But I spoke at Social Media Marketing World in March. Gosh, I guess tail end of February, first part of March, right before all the COVID stuff hit. And the huge theme at Social Media Marketing World this year was video. Everybody was talking about video. Now, video is not new, but definitely it was a hot topic. And there was a lot of great video tools as sponsors. And my favorite, and one of the ones that I've really embraced was InVideo. So let me introduce you guys to our special guest. His name is Abhilash, and you might have to say that a couple of times to get it to wrap around your tongue, right? But he leads the growth at InVideo, and he's also the producer of the first of its kind marketing show. So they also have a live show called Just Between You and Me. He has an in-depth understanding of content-driven marketing, which is why we're talking to him today. And he loves to help people leverage the power of video content for their brands and businesses. So you guys put your hands together for Abhilash. Hey, Abhilash. Let me get you pulled up here. Hang on. There he is. Woohoo!
Hi,
Well,
Kim.
I'm excited you're here.
Super excited.
So,
I mean, anyone who's on Kim's show has to be excited.
yeah, I'm excited that, like I say, that you guys are here. It looks like we're having some issues with Facebook. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll figure it out. You know what, Abhilash, I had a couple of things that I wanted to share with everybody to kind of get everybody to understand the power of video, and I forgot to do that. So I'm gonna pull those things up real quick. So you guys, I want you guys to like take a look at the options like this one. So by 2020, the global internet traffic, the percentage of global internet traffic that's going to be video based is going to be 82%, 34%, 68%. What do y'all think? I want you guys to get your feedback on how big video traffic it is, not only now, but the future of video. So just drop it in to that little area. So we've got, it looks like CEO is Dexov is saying 82%. So yeah, you guys let us know what your thoughts are. How big is video going to be not only is it now, but will it be in the future? So we got 182%. Let me pull up another amazing stat for you guys. So what do you think is what percentage of of people say a business's video has convinced them to buy? Is it 44%, 79%? What do you guys think? Let me pop that back up. 92%. So what percent of people say a business's video has convinced them to buy? So they've watched a video on social media and it has convinced them to buy. All right,
my guess would be around the 80% mark, Kim.
So what do you think? So Abhilash, do you know 92%? Yes. So we've got a star in the house. I'm just saying. And then let's see. I got one more stat for you guys, and then we're going to get into picking Abhilash's brain. All right. So let me get this back up. So what percentage of businesses get new customers because of a video posted on social media? Let's see. What do you think? It's pretty stunning. It's 93%. It's really crazy how impactful video is, right, Abhilash?
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. So my guess wouldn't have been 93%. Wow, like this is something for me to have about now when I go on someone else's show.
Yes, these are amazing stats, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Today we're talking specifically about promotional videos. So can you explain what a promotional video is for the viewers and those who might be listening?
Absolutely. So traditionally, how a promo video is looked at, and Kim, you would agree with me on this, is that most people create a brand promo, right? They create one promo that kind of has their brand central messaging, and they leave it at that, right? But typically, I mean, that's not the ideal use case. Like you create one brand promo that kind of has all of your messaging. It kind of has your brand story, and you show it to the world. You put it out there. You update it as your Facebook cover video, and so on and so forth. You put in a lot of money and time and effort into it. Usually this is outsourced, right? But as we are more and more discovering the significance of video and how important a part it plays, we have to kind of arrive at the conclusion that one standalone promo is not going to actually cut the job. Promos have become more contextual now, if you know what I mean, Kim. So, for example, if you have a masterclass, right? If you have this masterclass, you would ideally look at creating a promo just for this masterclass, right? If we are putting up a show, we would potentially create a promo for every episode, right? So if you can do that, and obviously I know what a lot of people are thinking, that that's not ideally possible because there's a massive amount of time, effort, and money that is involved. That's not really the case. So I think by the end of the show, hopefully we'll show them a way to kind of cross those bottlenecks, and empower them to be able to create those contextual promos.
So let me ask this question, because I think a lot of times people assume that when you're trying to create video, one, it's hard because they just don't know how to do it. Two, it's expensive. If they don't know how to do it, are they going to have to hire someone to do it? Do you run into that a lot? I know you guys are you are a video tool, but that seems like a common theme that I run into quite frequently, is people are afraid of the video thing. So everything you just said when it comes to, understanding that you need promotional video because they work, and then having a promotional video for multiple things is scary. So let's dig into that. Like you're saying that we should have have a promotional video for everything we're trying to sell. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, not necessarily everything that you're trying to sell. That could potentially be categorized as a video ad. But you would want to create a promo for anything that is new and anything that is important, right? So, like I said, for example, if you have a new product line that you want to talk about, right? You want to introduce your audience to that. Or if you have like a big sale that is happening around Black Friday, or let's say around Halloween or Christmas, right? You would potentially want to put a promo out for that. So anything that is majorly important, anything that is going to move the needle for you, and that it's a major campaign for you. It's like a presentation, right, Kim? Like if you have an important presentation that is coming up, you would want to at least tweak your previous presentation and kind of make it look like it is customized for that audience, right? So similarly, think of these as important presentations. The more important presentations you have, the more promos you'll have to make.
And that's a great explanation. So when it comes to video, again, overwhelming. People are like, okay, now you're saying, oh my goodness, I'm going to have a video for everything, or the important things. Maybe it's not everything, but the important things. What would you suggest, just to take the edge off of that worry, is how long should a promotional video be? They don't have to be uber long, right?
Nope. So before we even get there, Kim, I'm actually going to just take a step back and, as you correctly pointed out, right, I'm going to kind of touch upon like the 3 or 4 major bottlenecks that, just addressing the elephants in the room so that people, are kind of aware of the fact that I'm cognizant of them, and so are you, right? So I think the 3 biggest bottlenecks that people have are, there's going to be a very steep learning curve, right? Most people don't know how to edit videos or even create them, which means that if they have to get hands-on with a video editing platform, that's going to be extremely effort intensive. It's going to be extremely time intensive, right? Typically, the general perception is that a video takes at least a day to put together. And then there's the cost implication, right? Because if you're not ready to invest that time and effort by yourself, then you are looking to outsource this problem to someone else, right? Which means that you're going to spend anywhere from about $100 to $500 to $1,000, depending on how the promo ends up being, right? So what we are trying to tell you is that if those 3 bottlenecks are taken care of, will you actually want to create more promos and make them contextual? Yes, right. That's essentially what PowerPoint does to your life, right? Or that's essentially what even Canva does when it comes to creating just static graphics, right? So we are kind of enabling that for people. Now coming to your question, which is how long should an ideal promo be? It can be anywhere from about 30 to 45 seconds, depending on how complex your messaging is. Now, ideally, I wouldn't want to keep it anything more than a minute because, as you know, attention spans drop heavily, right? So those are the basic guidelines, right? Number one is you create the promo to be less than a minute under whatever circumstances possible. Ideal length would be around 30 to 45 seconds. That's super effective in terms of landing what you want to say. Second, and more importantly, is that a lot of people don't create promos that are contextual to the platform, right? So what you would want to make sure of, along with the length, is also how the viewing experience is for your audience. So, example, if your target audience is primarily millennials who spend way too much time on Instagram, and that's their primary platform, you want to create a video in the exact native dimensions as Instagram Stories, which is 9:16, right? If you create one that is more suited for Facebook or YouTube and you run it on Instagram Stories, it's not going to have the same impact because the experience is not immersive enough, right? So that's the second thing worth remembering, that cater to your audience, cater to where they are, and cater to the best experience that they could get on that platform, right? And the third simple fundamental guideline is that don't make your videos too text heavy. I know there's this popular myth that is making the rounds that you create videos for sound off, right? And I agree, you should do that. But I feel like the caveat here is that they are saying also do it for sound off. They're not saying only do it for sound off, right? Because on most platforms, if you actually watch a video when you are on your timeline and you watch the video with sound on, when you move on to the next video, it actually ends up being by default sound on, right? So you will be able to, it's not like your users are not experiencing the audio side of things. So don't make it too text intensive. Also, because if you're going to promote this promo, which we'll come to in a minute, if you're planning to run ads on it, there's the general thumb rule, and I'm sure you've spoken about this, that you wouldn't want to put more than 20% text, right? So those are the absolute three guidelines. I think that we should take care of.
Okay. When it comes to breaking down the just making the decision, like let me back up for a second. One of the great things about InVideo as a tool is once you create your promo video, you can create create any size. Right. You can duplicate it for any platform. So if you're on, if you want to create an Instagram story out of your promo video, you can do that. If you want to create a square video, you can do that. And one of the things that Abhilash was talking about is understanding where your person is and where your video is going to be most impactful for you. And I would say if you have, I'm throwing this in, is if you have a community on any social platform, then render that video in the format that it would be most suitable, like native to that platform. Like obviously, if it's a story, it needs to be oblong. If it's YouTube, it needs to be landscape. Just looking at it from that perspective, perhaps. And we had an aha moment. Jeff, thanks for pulling in the comments. I'm not able to get the comments in from Facebook, so I really appreciate you doing this. But Bruce is saying, if you say it, it's bragging. If your client says it, it's a testimonial. Yes. So that's another piece that I don't want to dig into too much on the pieces of the types of videos yet, because we're getting there. So hang in there with us, guys. And then Tony is asking, how do you feel about animated videos? So I'm assuming that's more like an explainer video. Thoughts on that, Abhilash?
So animated videos are great if you actually want to, like I said. Just to kind of explain the difference between the major kind of videos, there are two kinds of videos, right? One is your animated videos, which basically have a character that gets animated. It moves from one place to the other, it says things, so on and so forth, right? So you usually have cartoon characters or things like that. Now they are great if you are looking to create an explainer video. But having said that, even when it comes to explainer videos, my general consensus is that animated videos will not make the cut because they will lack the human connect, right? They will lack a human connection overall when you're looking at it. So think about your audience, for example. You want to communicate an idea, great. What is stopping you from actually creating it via live videos, right, or live action videos, the way that I call this genre of everything that you see on YouTube or on Facebook. Mostly that's also another testament to why you should create live action videos, is because they are a lot more effective, right? Your audience kind of responds to them a lot better. They can relate to them because they're actual human people or their real life footages. And even if we strip all of that aside, I feel like just aesthetically and from a visual standpoint, right, if you actually use an amazing piece of footage or an amazing image in the background, the kind of experience that can give cannot be matched by an animated video, right? If you ask me personally, I would potentially create a live action video for any use case. I know a ton of people who do, right? Kim doesn't actually create animated videos, not to the best of my knowledge, but she does create a lot of live action videos, right? This is a live action video. But again, if you are absolutely sure that you want to create animated videos, I'd say, you know what, you can actually take these principles and apply to that as well, and it should work.
Well, I totally agree. The principles behind the animated versus more of a real connection. I think the realness of a video where you're using things that like you would, like real, like like the versus the animated versions. But one thing that we've done with the animated videos is use them in a fun context, not always necessarily from a promotional standpoint. So maybe that will give you a little bit of a differentiator. Doing something that's animated that's kind of fun is a kind of a different thing. So that might be a great thing. So Abhilash, next question for you is, in your opinion, what is the most impactful part of the video? Is it like the first 5 seconds, or what is the most important part, and what do you have to absolutely nail to get people's attention and keep them listening?
Yeah, you've actually already pointed it out, Kim. So I feel like the first 5 seconds are critical in that sense, right? That's I think it's not even 5 seconds; it's dropping by the day. But like the first 2 seconds, 3 seconds are critical in terms of actually hooking them in. So I like to call that the hook. You can't actually move ahead. You can't do anything else. You can't deliver your main crux, your main messaging. You can't even forget about your CTA. You can't even get to your main story if you don't hook them with a stunning visual, right? So the first 5 seconds are critically important, and I feel that the way to differentiate them are, so there are two main central tenets that kind of make for a great video, right? One is obviously the script and how it's written, the narrative, right, the story that you tell. And the other one is what kind of visuals are you actually using to bring that story to life, right? Now both of them have to go hand in hand, and your first 5 seconds have to be brought to life by both of them. So let me give you an example. All right, if you're talking about let's say if I have to create a promo for InVideo, and I do have a couple of examples lined up, we can actually show them, if time permits. But if I have to create a promo for an end of the month sale, right? I would like, there are multiple ways for me to approach this, but because I know that the first 3 to 4 seconds is where I have to deliver that value and kind of keep them hooked. The way that I would do it is, I would say something like stunning videos, right? You want to create them, we'll show you how, right? Now this narrative actually puts up the most important aspect of this entire messaging up front. So immediately someone who's watching this knows that, okay, this is what is the value or the takeaway that I'm going to get by the end of it, right? Now the way that the visual pans out for this is a whole different ball game, right? Which I would want to deep dive into in the next 4 to 5 minutes. But just to kind of give you a basic overview, the way that we do this is that we actually think of something that is totally unexpected, something that is totally disruptive, that will grab their attention. In fact, the way that we usually script, and I have scripted a lot of the ads here at InVideo, the way that we do that is we actually start we start with a visual, right? So I'd actually just go to Shutterstock, or I'll go to the media library within InVideo, and I'll just browse through stock footages, right? Just to kind of get inspired and get ideas, right? So for example, I had seen this video clip wherein there's a TV that was getting smashed, right, in slow motion. I felt like, hey, this is actually a great visual if I can combine some form of messaging with it, because there are so many things that can actually go hand in hand with that visual, right? You can talk about smashing your goals. You can talk about blowing your mind away, right? Now, if that is my second line, that can actually be my byline, right? So I can say things like stunning videos that'll blow your mind away, and blow your mind away. Like the first two lines of text get represented by that visual. And we have an ad actually that is running, which is based on this concept, and it is one of our best-selling ads, right? So yeah, I mean that's how I would typically treat the first 5 seconds. So yeah, I mean I hope that answers how we approach the first 5 seconds at least.
Okay, so that begs the next question, because the hook, which is the most important part, right? Where you just got to catch their attention, or to your point, none of the rest of it matters, because they're not going to watch it. They're not going to get to your call to action, which is your absolute most. I mean, one could argue that's the most important part of your video, but it doesn't matter if they don't watch it, right? So having a great opening line is super important, which is exactly what Abhilash just said. So Abhilash, I'm curious, do you just sit down and randomly come up with something to say, or do you write a script and work off of a script?
No, actually. So this I follow someone's advice very early on this. This is something that I've started doing recently, and I think it's so. He was on our show, to be very honest. So this is something that Ken Moskowitz had said. He's actually the founder of Ad Zombies. He had come on our show and he had spoken about this, right? Wherein he said that, hey, when I want to sit down and write an ad, I'd actually start with a visual. I actually don't even think about the script, right? I keep my messaging, like I know what the CTA needs to be, right? So you know what your final goalpost needs to be, right? Which is, it can be get them to come watch the webinar, get them to come buy from you, or talk about this offer that you have. That's your last end goal. Now you want to reach there. How you start with, and how he usually starts with, is he actually thinks about one visual that is absolutely disruptive, right? It grabs your attention right then and there, or it's super relatable, right? So a general hack that we use here, guilty as charged, and I'm just going to give it out to you guys, is that we actually think of three things usually to just kind of make like a mind map, just to kind of scribble notes, and then we go deeper from there. But the easiest way to actually catch someone's attention and to disrupt them, if you think about it, is one, if you have a cute baby in the picture. Two, if you have a cute dog or a cute cat or cute animals in the video. And three is if you have something that is totally offsetting, right? Something that is completely unrelated to your video. For example, if you have if you have someone who's actually spacewalking on the moon, right? For example, that's a visual that you don't see on a day-to-day basis, right? Think about it. Or a baby sitting on a vacuum cleaner, right? Or a puppy sitting in a shopping cart. These are not visuals that you'll see on a day-to-day basis, which is why, think about it, in real life as well, it'll actually grab your attention. You'll go back and say that, wait, 1 second, what is happening? You'll take out your phones to record it, right? So it's the exact same experience that you're mirroring online, right? So the way that we go with this is that we actually try and figure out like base visuals. Obviously, like the first thing that comes to your mind, the other thing that we strictly follow is we almost always scrap our first initial ideas, so we don't go for the obvious that way, right? But these three tenets actually give us a good framework to start thinking about things, right? And then we obviously delve deeper into how can we actually show something that is completely off the charts, and yet it ties really well with the line of text that is going to come in, right? And then we actually start, which is why, the example that I just ran you through. Like, I'll give you another example. We were, again, for the end of the month sale, we actually wanted to create, a video. And I saw this visual wherein this girl actually had, she was painting like a wall in blue, right? She was actually just walking and painting that wall in blue. and we said, hey, it's time to paint it's time to paint the town blue because our end of the month sale is here, right? Now, the reason why that came up is because blue is actually one of the central colors of InVideo, right? So we made the text like that. The logo is right there. It kind of, resonates that way. Now, again, this is not something that just came up from the script. So that's why I said that I have the end goal in mind, and then you can just literally look at a visual. Think of what can actually grab your audience's attention, right? That's where this also ties back to the amount of audience research that you do. What is the kind of content that they reciprocate with, right? What are the kind of creators that they follow? What are the kind of brands that they follow? What is the visual language that they are kind of following, right? What is the kind of content language that they're following? And I think that ties in to this.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say real quick that if y'all did catch this, it's something I've said for a long time. Cats, dogs, babies rule the internet. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't have the cat or the dog, the cutesy kit or the small little tea tiny that, you can take pictures and share on social media all the time or in your videos, then, how do you leverage it? Well, you can use other people's because that's what makes video so great. But leveraging, I think anything that's fun, that's eye catching, unexpected, I use this example quite frequently, and I'll just tag on to basically what Abhilash said about, showing up in a unique way with your visual content, and your messaging. A kind of an overweight gentleman, a fluffy gentleman in a tutu, right? Right? That's an unexpected thing. So if you can find that kind of visual content, whether it's an image or a video clip, and that's what's beautiful about InVideo is they have literally thousands of video clips that you can find great content to where you're not having to hunt and peck for that kind of stuff, which I think is amazing. So, when you can create a piece of a promotional video that is eye-catching, like unexpected, I think unexpected's the word I'm looking for versus, it just being the standard, because everybody creates the same standard stuff. So show up in a unique way, right? Something that's unexpected and fun. So I know, you talked about having the vision for your script, or thinking about it from that perspective. But I pulled a couple of examples that you've given us, and I'd love to pull them up and let me pull them up real quick. Let me open this up. One is the first
While
one.
you're doing that, sorry, Kim, I actually just want to set premise. So we have actually put together 3 examples. These are 3 very foundational ways or approaches of how you can actually write your scripts, right? I know, like, everything that we've spoken about, you're like, okay, you know what, this sounds great. Great that we want to come up with something that is unexpected, but can you give me a framework? So we're actually showing you 3 examples. I think, Kim, you can actually pull them up and we'll go through them. Perfect. So the first one is social proof, right? Now, this is an approach that actually works really well if you already have a product that has a decent amount of people talking about it, or people who have gone and reviewed it, or there are testimonials stating how good your product is. Or if you have something that is, again, a completely new entrant, it's a completely new product category. So, for example, here we are talking about a product that went really, really viral, a few months ago, which is this charcoal activated teeth whitening powder, right? I know a lot of people still are, swear by this. I was guilty as charged. I actually bought their product. So that's the example that I've taken here. So now if you see the way that the script is made, the internet is going crazy over this natural teeth whitening kit made from coconut shells. That's all of those are features, and then I obviously give them the CTA at the end, right? So the internet is going crazy is something that I can, like, that claim comes from the fact that, hey, this is a product that is new to the market. There weren't any other products that were, like, there were obviously charcoal beauty masks, but there wasn't a charcoal teeth whitening powder, right? So suddenly this kind of is a completely new entrant, which is why social proof works really well in this case. So that's one approach that you can take, right? I think we have a couple of more that we can cover.
We do. I'm going to go ahead and pull them up. Here's another.
Perfect. So aspirational is actually my favorite approach. This is something that, but a heads up, This is slightly more difficult than the other two ones because it needs a much deeper understanding of your audience as well as what is the insight that you're going to build. So, for example, there's your upper primary first levels of problem statements, right? So, for example, with this product, the first level of problem statements is that you want to have set of pearly whites. You want to have you want to take away all the stains and marks on your teeth, right? Those are obvious problems, right? But if you actually think deeper, right, what is the one thing that it is stopping people from doing is it is actually stopping them from being their best self. It is stopping them from looking their best self. And I'm actually kind of amplifying that by an aspirational value, which is that you're beautiful and so is your smile, right? And it's time you don't shy away from it. So now this is not something that come to you at the first go, but this is actually a great approach if you can actually drill down to it. Because trust me, everyone else is going to do like the third approach that I'm going to show you after this, which is the easiest, which is a problem solution approach, right? Very few people, because no one has the time or the bandwidth to go through it. There you go, right? So tired of stains, sorry, that's a typo. Tired of stains and marks on your teeth. What if you could get the perfect set of pearly whites you've always wanted? Now, this actually ends up being a great approach if you're remarketing people, right? So what do I mean by this? So the second approach is something that I would take if I'm actually showing my ad to people for the first time. But now from the second time on, if I'm, let's say, sending them any form of communication, right? If I'm showing them an ad on Facebook or if I'm just creating a video for Instagram, this time around, I wanted to be slightly more direct. I want to actually just directly arrive at the problem statement and then show them how I solve them, right? For example, if we did this training again, we would ideally just jump to, hey, here's 3 approaches for scripting, here's 3 approaches for visuals. How can you put this together on InVideo, right? And we'll spend a larger chunk of time on how we can solve that problem as opposed to highlighting the problems. But it's the exact same approach, right? So the problem solution approach it's the easiest, and I strongly recommend that you at least get started with this so that you don't feel like, hey, how do I even come up with a script? There you go. That's the easiest way to do it, right? Think of the problem statement that your audience is facing, and then script it in a way that sounds enticing enough, right? Sounds snappy. But if you have a bit more amount of time and with a bit of practice, you can actually delve deeper. A lot of brands actually already have this, just saying, right? A lot of brands who are doing well, even at a small scale, do well because they have a very good understanding of their audience base, right? Like, for example, Kim, you have a profound understanding of what your audience wants, right? Where they're coming from, where are they at in their professional lives, and what are their aspirations. So there are so many things that you can talk about as opposed to just talking about, hey, I'm going to teach you how to make videos, right?
So one of the things I wanted to really key in on, because I think a lot of times when people think script, it's like this massive thing, like, right?
Yeah,
you have to write out this thing. I want you guys to take a look at this. Like, probably for most, I think at least for me, the one that I identify the easiest with is this problem solution one.
yeah.
And look how easy this is, really. You identify the problem, and then you start painting the picture of the possibles, right? And it's not about a bunch. It's not like overwhelming. It's not like 3 paragraphs of script. Like, it's basically just pulling in the components so those are words that you can use on your video. So let's talk about that real quick. When it comes to matching up your script, your words with the actual video component or the components, maybe it's some images and some video snippets. How do you do that, like, without making it so text heavy? So thoughts on that?
Yeah. So typically the way that we would do this is that there are again, from a visual standpoint, to dive in deeper, right? There are 3 basic approaches. Just as with scripting, there are 3 basic approaches that we take. Number 1 is when you have something that is supremely important, right? Like, let's say your NCTA, right? That you want them to remember, or your offer text, right? Save 30% off, end of the month sale, or something that. So your invite link, for example, right? Those are things that are extremely important. When you are putting that text on the screen, you don't want any distractions whatsoever to take away attention from that, right? So usually how you would do that is you would make sure that these text lines actually come on a solid background. You can literally have this text on a white background or a black background, obviously with inverted colors, and you can just highlight it, right? And that's okay. The reason why that is okay is because I'm going to tell you the other two constructs, and they are going to make sure that there is enough contrast. So it suddenly snaps them back into attention, and it actually drives recall for whatever you're telling them, right? So number one, whenever you've got like your critical text elements, right, and absolutely critical, your headline can't be critical. Not everything is critical, right? There are very few things, like 1 or 2 lines of text in your entire script that is critical. You want to make sure that you keep it on a solid background. Uh, Two is when you have something that is like the second tier of importance, right? The second tier of importance is, for example, your core offering, right? Get a free health checkup today, right? Or create uh, videos that will blow your mind away. Or uh, have you tried this insane hair dryer, right? These lines of text are these lines of text are actually secondary in that rank of importance. And what you want to do is, again, here you don't want to disrupt their attention in the form of by showing them a visual that is going to take them some time to register. So what do I mean by this? You can actually reinstate the power of your text, right, and the recall of your text by using visuals that are actually kind of communicating the same thing. So, for example, if I'm going to talk about your first walk, or your first appointment is on the house, right, or your first drink is on the house, or your first beer is on the house, what you would do is you would actually show the visual of 2 beer glasses clunking, right? Or you would show, if I'm talking about your first appointment is on the house, you would actually show what they're going to experience when they are going to have that appointment, right? So you can actually go for obvious visuals at this point in time, and you can use that to kind of reinstate and reimpose what your offering is, right? But again, this is not something that you'll use for all scenes, because it kind of then becomes like it becomes repetitive, right? You're actually showing them exactly what you're telling them, and that doesn't make sense. Which brings me to the third and the final kind of scenes, which is what you will use most of the time. Like, this is 60% of your scenes, you're going to use this rule, right? Which is, you will actually use something that is completely disruptive. So what we just spoke about 10-15 minutes ago is something that you're going to use here, wherein you will use a visual that at the first go does not actually indicate what you're telling them. But when you look back at it in the larger scope of things, you will be able to make that connection. Let me give you an example. If my text is something on the lines of, you have a story, right? This does not fall into either of the other two categories, right? It is not important. It's not a CTA, so it's not important enough that I put it on a bold background. It's not the second kind of text as well, wherein I'm actually talking about my main offering, because I haven't even started, right? So your headline usually is in this category, and so is the bridge that ties your headline to your main offering, right? But what you could potentially show, the obvious things to show in this case, is someone scribbling down on a piece of paper, or someone drawing something on a whiteboard. The way that we went about it is, we actually showed someone walking on the surface of the moon, right? So that in itself was a visual that actually stood out, right? It kind of grabbed their attention. It was like, okay. And the reason why that connected is because, think about it, who have the best stories? You and me. Obviously, our stories are important. I'm not saying they're not important, but I'm saying, who have the best stories, who have the most unique stories. Like, someone who's gone to the battlefield has a much more interesting story than you and I, right? Someone who's gone into space has a much more. So somewhere psychologically at the back of your head, you know that, oh wow, I mean, that frame overall, yes, has a story to tell, right? So think of visuals like that, which can actually disrupt people's attention, and can be completely unexpected. But yeah, those are the three constructs that you can use to kind of bring your script to life.
Awesome. Okay, so I wanted just to give a couple of comments that we had. We had three approaches: the social proof, aspirational, problem solving. That really resonated. And then this was a great one. Judine said, "Don't go for the obvious. Start with your visual." I love that too. And let's see. Let's see what was some. I think that's a good. Anyway, I have many more questions, but I promised something specific for today's show, and I want to get. I'm probably going to bypass my last few questions because my focus is giving Abhilash time to show you how to create a promotional video in less than 10 minutes. Who is interested in that? Y'all, I want to hear from you guys. If you'd like to see how to create a promotional video in 10 minutes or less. So one thing I want to share with you guys is, and you can definitely go follow along if you want to. I would love it if you could follow along with Abhilash live while we're here. But if you want to test this out yourself, go to kimgarst.com/InVideo. And one of the great things that Abhilash in InVideo has offered up to my community is a ridiculous offer. Like, seriously, it is a ridiculous offer. It is, it's hard to find great video tools. And usually when you find great video tools, they're kind of pricey. But they have given my community a ridiculous offer, $5. Who can't afford to create a promotional video for $5? I'm just saying, if you got $5, that's probably a cup of coffee at Starbucks, or most of us have $5 laying around. So for $5, you can go check it out. You can use it for whatever you want, but I want you to try to use it for a promotional video. So Abhilash, I want you to screen share and show how people can create their very own promotional video in 10 minutes with your tool.
Yep. So before I even get there, so just to clarify, that's $5 a month, right? You basically have that's $60 a year. It's $10 a month if you will monthly, but that's it, right? That's essentially the price that you're going to pay for everything, including the inbuilt stock video footage, more than 4,000 odd templates, like the whole editing suite, everything, right? And I'm going to show you how easy it is in like the next 5 minutes. But Kim, if you don't mind, I actually have your creator profile here. So guys, here's the best part, right? When you go to the link that is on your screen right now, you actually also have a way to access Kim's own creator templates. So we put together a few promo templates that we work with Kim on, right? She's essentially recommends these, and she's actually signed off on these, right? So we put that together, so that can be a great starting point for you guys. I'm actually going to just give you a quick tour, and we can also look at how we can create one. Just put together something real quick on that, right? Kim, just let me know if you can see my screen on this. Okay, so this is essentially where you'd find Kim's templates, right? And as you can see, you've got a whole bunch of promo templates. Now, a word of caution, these templates can be used for any and every use case. So for example, this is a business advisory promo. It's not necessarily going to be a business advisory promo, right? What you can do is you can actually change everything about it. So the template is just the starting point. Think of it as a template on Keynote or a template on PowerPoint, right? Doesn't mean that you can actually strip it of everything and change everything about it, right? You can. So you can literally take this and turn it into a fashion promo, or you can turn it into a real estate promo. It doesn't really matter, right? Okay, let's actually go to one of these templates. So I'm going to pick this one up. Actually, let me also show you how the homepage looks like, right? I think it's super important that you guys check this out. So this is the InVideo homepage, right? Okay, so as you can see, you have a search bar right here that you can use to search for anything and everything under the sun. So if I search for promos, for example, this is what I get, right? I get templates in all the three resolutions. So these are 16:9 templates. They are best suited for something like YouTube, right? Or if your audience is primarily based on the web. When you come down here, you've got templates that are the best fit for Instagram stories, right? And then you obviously have square templates as well here, which are basically the best fit for your regular posts, right? Facebook and Instagram regular posts, or if you're even trying to run ads on them, right? Now, if you click on View All, you'll actually be able to see the whole repository of templates. So we've got 348 templates just in this resolution for promos, right? And then obviously there's a whole bunch of other templates that you can also look at. But just in the interest of time, let's say I want to create one, right? I'm just going to pick this one up. As you can see, you can actually duplicate it in either of the two resolutions. The original one is in square. Now, word of caution, it's not like it's going to automatically turn everything into the other resolution and give it to you. It will take a certain amount of tweaking. But hey, here's the best part, right? If you take about 10 to 15 minutes to put your first version together, it will not take you anything more than about a couple of minutes to 5 minutes tops to replicate that in other resolutions as well. So it's very incremental effort for you to do that, right? Okay, let's actually get into this. I want to quickly show you the layout so you know how easy it gets to kind of put this together. Guys, a word of caution, I'm actually doing multiple things at the same time. I'm actually on StreamYard talking to you guys right now, and at the same time, I am accessing InVideo, which is a completely browser-based platform, right? There is no installation whatsoever. It's completely on the web. So if there is a certain amount of delay, I apologize in advance. It's not something that you will experience when you're going to try this at your end, right? But here's the screen that you'll come to, right? And I'm just going to make this in full screen, right? So as you can see, this is the layout. Now I know you can see a lot of options here, but let me actually simplify this for you. This is your main workspace, right? So anything that you want to tweak here, etc., you can actually just move this around. There you go. You can place it wherever you want, right? This is just your open canvas that you can play around with. You can move around your logo. You can do anything and everything under the sun. You can even play around with your video footage. There you go, right? Now on the left is your asset panel. So anything that you want to change when it comes to your scenes is always going to be on the left, right? Anything that you want to add to your scenes. So, for example, you remember how we told you that there's an inbuilt media library of more than 1 million royalty-free images and video clips? Well, guess what? We've got tie-ups with sources like Shutterstock. So you don't have to get an additional subscription with them because you get everything within the platform itself, and they're completely free for you to use. So, for example, change is necessary for growth. You remember how I told you that the visual can actually be something that stands out? There's a visual that actually stands out, right? But if I have to talk about something else, let's find a kid that is grumpy, for example, right? Okay, let's search for a kid. Let's see what can we get. Okay, let's see what this kid is up to. Okay, so if I have to use this this video, all I have to do is I'm actually going to drag and drop this here, right? I'm going to click on replace. It'll allow me to select the part of the video that I want to use. Let's say I select the first 7 seconds, and that's it. That's done, right? So what I'm going to do is now, obviously the visual can't come on its face. So sorry, my bad. I'm just going to make sure that I change this to, and I can actually move this around, right? I can obviously just move the text box around. So I'm going to move it around here, and I'm going to make sure that all of my text gets replaced here. And I'm just going to construct this one frame for you so you know exactly how easy it can get. But there you go. Right? Perfect. This is center line. Done. Now, if I play this, let's see how does this pan out. Perfect, right? I mean, I would have literally gone ahead with this if I had to just at the top of my head, if I had to get this together in about 10 minutes. But yeah, you can play around with visuals. Now you see how you can actually play around with more visuals. You can dig deeper. There's a baby that is crying. That can also make for a very interesting frame, right? So yeah, that's your inbuilt library that you can add to your scenes. You've also got a set of images here. So for example, like again, like that's an interesting visual that you could again use, right? So we've got a whole bunch of images here as well. Now, right next to it is a ton of music tracks, right? So they're categorized according to different moods. So you can actually use any one of them and add them to your scenes, right? Then there's a whole lot of text boxes. There are animated text boxes that you can use. Then you've got stickers. So you've got things like CTA boxes and things like that that you can use. So for example, if I wanted to put, put a call us button, I can actually put it up right here, right? And make this slightly bigger. So you've got all of these common CTAs, things like that. You've got animated stickers, right? You've got overlay effects. You've got a whole bunch of things here. But the basic premises, and I won't deep dive into each one of them, but they're super fun to explore. You will have a ball playing around with this. This is literally as if you remember your experience on Canva, or you remember your experience on something that is extremely gamified. This is literally that, right? You can't go wrong with this, because whatever you do, if you feel like you messed up, just use your keyboard shortcuts that you use to do an undo, right? Use Control Z or Command Z if you're on a Mac, and it'll undo whatever you did. So, for example, if I press this here, there you go, right? That's gone. Okay. On the right, now, what happens when you want to edit anything? So, for example, if I want to edit this video clip, I click on the video clip, and the entire right panel is just my edit panel, and it's contextual to the element that I've selected. So, for example, if I've selected the video clip here, all the editing options here end up becoming contextual to my video, which is, how can you trim your video, how can you crop your video, how can you blur it, how can you increase the playback speed. So if I want to make this into a time lapse, or I want to make this into like a super slow-mo video, I can do all of that right here, right? Then there's something called as layers. Layers, as you just saw, like if I want to, for example, lock this, right, the background box, I can actually do that right here, so that whatever happens, that ends up being non-clickable, right? And I can just unlock that, and then I can move it around. So layers come in very handy when you've got multiple layers. But as you can see, everything that is there in the scene is actually a layer here. So you know the order of preference, right? Now at the bottom is your timeline. Now this might look complicated, but it's actually not. It's super simple. Each scene is actually divided into one chunk, right? So the premise is fairly simple. It's not like one complex interwoven timeline. You work on any one scene at any given point in time, entirely just work on that scene, get it right, get it perfected, and then move on to the next one. That's it, right? You can increase or decrease the duration of your scenes from here. You can, in fact, if you click on these three dots, you will have a bunch of options. So, for example, you can add a new scene, you can duplicate this, you can delete it. This seek bar will allow you to see how your scene pans out across different time intervals, right? So it'll actually allow you to see how your video pans out at any given point in time. And then obviously this is your reference frame, right? This is your preview button for playing that particular scene, and this is what you'll use if you want to play like the whole video at once. But yeah, I think that's broadly about it. Two additional things that I think will come in extremely handy for everyone who's trying to create a video for the first time, right? You remember how we told you that we will actually do most of the heavy lifting so that you can just kind of focus on your narrative. You can focus on the ideation and how, what are the kind of visuals that you use, what is the kind of script that you use, and so on and so forth. You see this small fish icon here? What this is going to do is it'll actually scan your scene. So it's the world's first intelligent video assistant. What it's going to do is it's going to actually scan your entire scene and point out any basic hygiene errors that are there. So for example, if there is a piece of text there which is not readable, it will actually detect that and tell you upfront. Now clearly this scene doesn't have anything because everything's visible and there are no hygiene issues. But if there were, it would actually point that out, right? Similarly, if your scene goes past way too soon before people can register your text, it will tell you that, right? So something that can come in super handy if you want to just do a quick run through of everything's good to go. And last but not the least is your live chat window, right? So you can literally talk to our team 24/7, 365, and you'll get a response in under a minute. This is not a bot. This is an InVideo expert on the other side of the equation, and they're going to kind of talk to you. They're going to handhold you through this entire process. So you can literally ask them anything under the sun. So if you, for example, need help on selecting a template, please by all means reach out to them. If you want to, if you're not comfortable and if you want to book a demo, please reach out to them and they'll help you out, right then and there, any time of the day. So with that, I think, that's fairly about it. I think once you're done with everything, you can just hit on export. It'll take about 2 to 3 minutes for the video to get rendered, and then you will actually have a downloadable version that you can download onto your computer, and then you can export it wherever you want. Right, there you go. The moment this hits 100%, you can actually download it.
That's so awesome,
Yep.
guys. Seriously, for $5, you just can't beat this. So I'm serious. I have. I love great tools. You guys know that. I've highlighted a lot of great video tools over the years, but I've not found one that is this good with all the amazing features it has for the price. So definitely go check it out. It's kimgorst.com/InVideo. And one thing I really want to highlight is something that Abhilash talked about, but you guys, I don't know, he said a lot, but I really want to key in on one thing. Their customer support is amazing. So if you're struggling, they get on the phone with you. Like, how many brands do you know that will literally pick up the phone and talk you through something? Like, not many. So I just want to let you know, obviously I love their tool, but what I really love is the fact that they take care of their customers. And that is very hard to find today. So if again, check it out. I'm going to pull up today's winners. We have Peggy McKnight. Peggy, yay, you won the webcam cover. So if you'll send us a message on Facebook with your mailing address, we'll get that in the mail to you. Let's see, the ring light winner, which is here, is Linda Blackman. So Linda, if you'll send us your mailing address, that would be amazing. And then our easel winners are Sunny, Alice, and Paul. And guys, all we need from you is your email address. If you will send us your email address, that would be amazing. And let me see. I want to give a big shout out again to Abhilash for coming and joining us today, being here and sharing not only the components of a promotional video and maybe give you guys some ideas to jumpstart your very first or next promotional video. But we also wanted to highlight a way to do it. It doesn't do you any good if you have the knowledge, but you don't have the right tool. So hopefully you'll check out InVideo and start creating your next promotional video. So again, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. I know we're going over, but I feel like it'll be unjust for us to not do. If we can actually if I can just show them one video that we've done, it'll take 15 seconds. But I think it'll actually just kind of sum up everything that we've kind of gone over today.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I hope that isn't a problem. I feel it's going to be super helpful for them. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
I can't see your screen, so if you'll share it again.
Okay.
And then we'll add.
I have this folder.
It's spinning, but we're waiting on it.
You can see this, right?
Oh, it looks like it's just spinning right now. So we'll give it a second and see if it'll come up. Yep. Nope.
You couldn't see.
Nope. We just got a blank screen right now.
Okay. 1 second. Okay, let me do that again. Sorry, this is the whole thing with live, right? 1 second. Let me actually share my screen again. Okay, can you see this right now?
Nope, it's still blank. Oh no, here it is. We got it now. Here we go.
Okay, perfect. Right, so so this was another plan that we were running, right? So this is actually something that we created for an. If you look at the visual and the text and everything else that we did there, that's exactly the structure that we spoke about today, and it's literally everything that we spoke about today, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that kind of gives people an idea of the fact that we actually use this stuff here, and it's super powerful.
Yeah, excellent. So Abhilash, where can everybody find out? Where can they connect with you and find out more about you?
Well, they can actually connect with me on LinkedIn. So there are very few people with my name, as you pointed out. So the fact that it's difficult to pronounce also kind of makes it unique. So they can actually find me on LinkedIn. They can also find me on Instagram. I go by the handle the InVideo guy. That's essentially my handle on Instagram. So they can find me on Instagram. But yeah, LinkedIn seems like a good place, and they can always reach out to me uh, on my email address, which is abhilash@invideo.io. Right. So yeah, those. I think I'll just drop that in the comments for this live. I'll just get off this live and I'll just put that in the comments. But yeah, I mean, I'd be super happy to help people out if they need any further help in terms of scripting and so on and so forth. Would be super happy to help them out.
That's awesome. So I just wanted to pull this up because Chuck, who is on a lot of my live shows, I love him to death. He said, I created my first InVideo Facebook ad yesterday, and I'm super proud of it. Once I learned how to use the system, it was really easy. The platform is amazingly complete. Good. Yes, I love that.
Yay.
I love seeing action takers, right? So thank you guys for being with us today, and definitely check out InVideo. I promise there's not very often where I really like press you guys with like, hello, you can afford $5. This tool is so worth it. Go do it, guys, because I promise you it is going to be a blessing for you and your business. Like I say, I don't normally lovingly kick you in the butt like that, but you can afford $5 to test this out because it has such great impact or possibility for impact on your business. Video is where it is at, and it's where it's going more specifically too. So thank you guys for being with us today. Take care of yourselves and stay safe. Thank you, Abhilash, for being here.
Thank you, Kim, for having me over. This is super fun.